Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another top 10 list for you. Today, we have a big one. It is my top 10 knives for the first half of 2020. I realize we're not quite halfway through yet. That's about 3 weeks away. But usually, I'd be loading up my car right now to head down to Blade Show. And Blade Show is kind of the beginning or the end, however you want to put it, of our model year. Like, you know, when you go buy a car, it's really like August. They start selling 2021s. Kind of the same thing with knives, because everybody wants to get their new stuff out to show at Blade Show. But Blade Show is not happening this year. Very sad. I wish I was getting ready to head down and hang out with all my buddies. So it's not happening in June anyway. It's supposed to happen in August. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so this is a happy, sad list. And this is only top 10. So if there's some things missing, rest assured, this is only top 10. At the end of the year, I do top 10 under 100, top 10 over 100. This is just top 10 period across any price range. And some of these will get booted from the list from cooler stuff that comes out. There will be a lot more that are added back in when it gets expanded out, you know, to the two different categories. And, you know, as the year goes on, sometimes I fall in love with something. Sometimes I decide I don't like something as much as I thought I did. So wait till the end of the year if you're upset that something isn't on here. But without any further ado, let's get going. I do want to specify that these are in absolutely no particular order whatsoever. So I'm not going to pick a winner or anything like that. I'll do that at the end of the year in each category. So let's get going. First up has to be a pretty darn new one. This is the Ritter Hogue RSK Mark 1-G2 Mini. I do really love this thing. Obviously, it's on this list. I had the full-size one. I like it so much. I don't have the full-size one anymore. I was going to decide to keep only one. I didn't need both. And the Mini is just such a joy to carry. Very thin, slicey blade. They didn't just scale it down in length, they scaled down the blade width and everything as well. And I do like that a whole lot about it. 20 CV. It is a KnifeWorks exclusive, but is still readily available. All the knives you're going to see in here, by the way, are readily available. I don't usually include sprint runs or anything like that, but KnifeWorks always keeps these in stock. It's definitely something I would call readily available, and it's only 140 bucks, so not too bad at all. And a portion of the proceeds go towards Knife Rights, Doug Ritter's organization that protects our right, you know, to carry whatever knives we want. And he does a great job of it. He's done some cool stuff here in New York also. So really cool knife. You can check out the review down below. The links to all these reviews will be down below. Next up, again, these are in no particular order. This is very much a budget model. The CRKT Pete. Both CRKT and Kershaw have come out with a whole lot of really cool budget stuff this year, but the Pete really stood out to me because, first of all, it's only 29 bucks. It is 8CR13 want steel, which I'm not usually too excited about, but I don't mind at all in a knife this price. FRN handles, really nice blue aluminum backspacer, and it's just a very slicey little knife. The ergos are outstanding. This is a Jesper Voxnay's design. I always call him my hand twin because everything he makes just fits my hands perfectly. This is absolutely no exception. You can kind of choke up on a little bit. It has a thumb hole deployment. Very nice deep carry pocket clip with, on a knife this price, with recessed screws, which I just thought was really awesome to see. Action on it's not too bad. It's running on Teflon, liner lock, but it really like the Pete for that value. I used to say Piet, but I've been told I was being pretentious and it's just Pete. So it's just Pete now. Hi, Pete. Next up, this is one that a lot of you guys don't seem to love, but I do. You don't like the looks of it, but I still think it's the best thing Spyderco's come out with so far this year. They have a lot to come, but that would be the Watu. This is a Taichung Spyderco 20 CV steel, 180 bucks. And yes, the looks are polarizing, but I don't mind them. And this blade is just so thin and slicey and just fantastic. And it has the deep carry wire clip, which I like a lot. It carries very well. This has been in my pocket a whole lot since I got it, and it was actually in last month's most carried. I just really enjoy this knife. It has all the nice drop shuttiness you'd expect. It does have a bit of that flaw that some Spydercos have now, where the tang of the blade will enter your finger path, you know, when you're trying to hold the lock open. But it's not that bad. It's something that it's very quick and easy to get used to. The Shaman is infinitely worse than this. So can't really complain too much about that. And these are 182 bucks. Not too bad for 20 CV and Taichung Spyderco. Next up, this would be the Cold Steel Airlight This is one that I just kind of like, yeah, I'll check that out. But I love this thing. It's very thin, very light, as the name indicate, 85 bucks. Comes in either this Tanto blade or a more conventional sort of drop point. But get the Tanto, it's just cool. And Cold Steel does a really good job with Tantos. I'm not just saying that just because I like them, but if you're going to get a Tanto, Cold Steel's not a bad choice. AUS 10A steel, which, because it has that AUS in front of it, I think some people equate it to being not that great a steel. But a lot of people have put it to the test and it holds up pretty well. And if you're going to get a more budgety steel from any company, get it from Cold Steel. They always do an amazing job in the heat treats. This is no exception. I have that on this. I have it on the 4MAX Scout, which almost made this list as well. And it's a pretty good steel. I'm really enjoying it. I really love this Tanto blade shape, but I just love the way it carries. It just disappears in your pocket. Super thin, super light. 85 bucks. It's pushing it on the price a little bit, but I still really, really do enjoy it. Nice pocket clip. Almost no complaints about the airlight. And it will drop shut as long as you make sure to keep your finger up there so you don't get cut. Nice sharpening choil. Really, really good knife. Next up, we'll stay in the surprise category. This is one that I just thought it looked cool in the picture, and I thought, I'll give it a shot. Was not expecting to like it as much as I do. That would be the Real Steel Row Cut. It's just a very, very fun front flipper. You can see the Ivan Bergenet's design on there. Really nice dude from the Ukraine. I think I said he was from Russia in the review. He's Ukrainian. He didn't seem to mind too much. But just a lot of really cool design details on this, like all the milling in the G10 and on the pocket clip are Morse code. I think that's kind of neat. I think it's a really good looking knife overall. Front flipper works excellent. They nailed the detent on it. Just really, really good. And you can also use thumb studs if you want to. So that's always excellent to see. I like multiple deployment methods. It carries really well. It is a very thin, slicey blade, and just an awesome, awesome knife for 77 bucks. Not bad at all. And Real Steel has another new design with him that I'm going to be reviewing probably tomorrow or the next day that is also pretty darn good. The Lynx. He's a really good designer. And Real Steel is doing a great job of executing his designs. You can also open it with the nail nick if you want to, or the finger groove, whatever you want to call that. It's a little more than a nail nick, but really, really cool design. One that I was not expecting to like nearly as much as I do. Next up, we will bring one that is so new that it still hasn't quite hit the dealers yet, but it is like they've shipped. So dealers are going to have them like any day now. That would be the Protec Malibu, 199 bucks. This is the Warncliffe blade version. There's also a reverse Tanto. Initially, they're just going to come in this black and a blue, but it's Protec. If you watch the Knives Illustrated podcast that I host, or listen to the Knives Illustrated podcast that I host, Dave from Protec said, yeah, we've got more versions coming, customs, all that kind of stuff. So excited to see those. But it is a manual. I know it says Protec, so you may assume it's an automatic, but it is not. It is an excellent manual. It's very, very smooth, and just a blast to sit and play with. I really like it. It does have a very light blade, so it doesn't drop quite as fast as, like the Mordax did, but it's pretty darn close. It's just physics that it doesn't drop quite as well because it's a very thin, lightweight blade. Slices really well. Ergos are excellent. The usual really good Protec pocket clip in that it's the short one. I don't like how Protec sometimes puts really big clips on pretty small knives. This one, they did not. Just a really great knife and really great design, as light as all get out, and 199 bucks, USA made, 20 CV steel. Yeah, this is going to be a contender even at the end of the year. I can tell you that. I really do like it that much. Since I've had it, it's pretty darn hard to keep out of my pocket. All right. Next up, we'll stick with a good bang for the buck, even though it's a little expensive. We have the Knives Kitefin. You're looking between $153 to $157 here. They come in a whole bunch of different configurations. This is the carbon fiber version. This is the one I like the most. I love the little bronze touches on it and things like that. It's just a really, really good knife. You have S35 VN steel on there. If you can read it, can you read it? But you were getting that full-on Wii experience for halfway between what you normally see as Civivi and a Wii. Wiis are usually like 200 and up now, so it's just a really thin, hollow ground, slicey blade, super, super thin behind the edge, as light as the day is long. And all of them look great. There are so many different configurations. You can get full tie with different milling and different colors. But yeah, like I said, this is the one I like. I like the bronze touches and the holes in the pocket clip. All the hardware is all bronzed out. That carbon is just gorgeous. And the price is very reasonable. And again, it's a super lightweight EDC knife. And you're going to see a lot of these. This is a knife that we seems to be going all in on. Like I said, there's probably 6 or 7 configurations of it available already. And I kind of think we're going to wind up seeing more. Just an excellent in-house design from them. And I really do like it. Definitely has more soul to it than a lot of in-house WE designs seem to have. And next up, we will do the Kershaw Launch 11. This is an auto, but it's the newest of the Launch series, and I like it a lot. It's a very good EDC size. You're only like 2 3/4 inch blade, $99.95. It is made in the USA with CPM 154 steel, which is a really good steel, especially for autos. Aluminum handles. It's got a really cool design. It's very lightweight. It carries well, and it is very, very snappy. Yeah, can't knock that a bit. It does kick like the proverbial mule, and I just do like a whole lot about this. Ergos are good. I can't really find too much at flaw with this. It wasn't a recent battle to the death with the Protec Newport, and it lost, but the Newport is a lot more expensive knife, and I could totally see why someone would choose this over the Newport. It was a win for the Newport, but I could totally get if someone disagreed with me. Just really, really cool knife. And by the way, if you're looking at the 2020 Kershaws, you're going to see this mark here, this little Star Wars-y looking logo means that it's an in-house design. So very, very cool knife. And next up, I think we only have 2 more left. Yeah, we're down to 2 more left. This one is no surprise. You guys are probably all sitting around waiting for this one. The Quiet Carry Waypoint, fully corrosion resistant, Vanex steel, $295, not inexpensive at all. But this one is the stonewash finish with the satin blade. You can get stonewash, you can get black and stonewash, you can get black. There are a few different versions of it. Very thin, very light, nice deep carry clip. But yeah, it's a main party favor is that it is Vanex super clean steel, LC 200N liner lock. So it is completely corrosion resistant. It's running on washers. And yeah, you don't have to be nice to this knife at all. It is a fairly slender carry profile. Some people might not always like the really slender knives. I do a lot. The chipping's in the right place. Ergos are really good. This is another one I can almost guarantee this one's going to make the end of the year. It would take a whole lot to get rid of this. Very thin hollow ground blade. Just a really, really well-designed, well-built knife from Quiet Carry. There's only a few versions available right now, but I did talk to Quiet Carry. This is something that's going to be regularly in stock. It's not going to be something that's just a one-and-done, limited edition, run and grab it hype knife. They are going to be a regular thing. And lastly, we'll round it out with this. Another budget option. We have the CRKT feldspar. This is the mini, but you can choose whichever one you want. They're both great. This is the mini that's more like a 3-inch blade. They make a large as like a 3.5. Comes in several different versions. $35. Several different G10 colors. And now if you want to spend a little bit more, $55, you can get a green micarta one. So that's pretty cool. I like this brown G10. I think with the brass accents, it looks really great. They all have the brass accents, so I think it just comes off best with this D2 steel. The action is amazing. It is just a superb value for $35. You're going to be seeing more of this. I actually do have a Benchmade Mini Grip Tillion, which is what, $75. So I think I'm going to do a cheap versus not so much between those two, because this is pretty cheap. The Benchmade, not so much. So look forward to seeing that. But a really, really good knife. And this is another one that I'm pretty sure is still going to be on the list at the end of the year, because I really do like it. I had both. Decided I wanted to keep the mini more, so I don't have the large anymore. I think I might have actually given that away. I'm not really sure what I did with it, but a really, really great knife. CRKT is doing some really cool stuff. I have a couple other ones here on the table that probably wouldn't have made this list, but I still like a lot, and you'll be seeing coming up in future videos. So that is it. That is my top 10 for the very first half of this year of 2020. Again, if you didn't see something, you'll see it later on, or maybe it's just something that's really limited and really hard to get, so I didn't include it in here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.